change your name to something else other than Furious Pete. Change your name to something else other than Furious Pete. Do you know how many people have told me to do that over the years? Not that many, because not that many people are crazy enough to say something else. See that? Pro Eater, Furious Pete. That was my first logo. It was cool. It was cool. But that is connected to my very first contest and when I first started eating and so forth. Listen, my friends, if you're gonna tell me to change my name because, well, this is what happened. I got a comment today and I was like, fuck it, I'm doing a video. And to address this issue. And it's not an issue, it's just to address this comment. And the comment was, Furious Pete, you've been Furious Pete for a while. You should change your name to Extreme Pete or something else. Never. Listen. One, I'm Furious Pete. I've been Furious Pete for years. And Furious Pete sounds awesome and is awesome. Two, I have a corporation named Furious Pete. I'm incorporated under Furious Pete. If somebody writes me a paycheck, they write it to Furious Pete. They don't write it to my full name, Peter Czerwinski. It's Furious Pete. 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want to call it now. Team Furious. Team Furious. What is it going to be? Team Extreme? No, it's Team Furious. Team Furious for life, all right? This little thing about changing my name goes back to when I first started competitive eating. And when I first started competitive eating, well, first I made a YouTube account and it was called Furious Pete back in 2007. And then in 2008, I got asked to come down to California for an eating contest by a gentleman named Arnie Chapman who ran an eating organization. Now, Mr. Arnie Chapman likes to, well, he wants to be the gem, the guy that created somebody. And so I came in there known as Furious Pete, and I had fans online already that called me Furious Pete, especially on bodybuilding.com forums. That's where most of my fans were. And this gentleman, Arnie Chapman, said, hey, we should change your name. We should call you Iron Pete. And Iron Pete was because I lifted weights, so, you know, there's iron. And I also held the world record for fastest time to eat a 72-ounce steak. And he said there was a lot of iron in the steak, and so therefore it connects to your name. Now, he decided to call me Iron Pete for my very first eating contest, and if you look back to my videos, you might have heard it. And he announced it, and I'm like, no. Like during the contest, I'm like, no, it's Furious Pete. Like, get it right. Like, it's always going to be Furious Pete. You don't, he wanted to call me Iron Pete so that he knew there was a lot of, there was a lot behind my name. He knew I was going to go places and so forth with this, with competitive eating and so forth, because he knew my skills. So he was like, hey, if I call him Iron Pete, if I'm the first person to call him Iron Pete, then I can always say I created that individual. I had another person that I'm not going to be talking about that did a project with me years ago as well, and he also wanted to take credit in the fact that he created me as well, in which he didn't even close to. He did nothing to further my career. However, he wanted to take pride in that, and from that project he thought that every other project that I do, I should go through him and give him credit and so forth for the rest of my life. And there's people out there like that, and what I'm trying to get at here is, my name is Furious Pete. It's not Fitness Pete, it's not Extreme Pete, it's not Iron Pete, that's for fucking sure. It's Furious Pete. And it's always gonna be Furious Pete. So don't try to fucking change my name. It's a sensitive subject. I love you guys, but my name is Furious Pete. And it's always gonna be fucking Furious Pete. It's always gonna be Team Furious. And I think that 99.99% of you watching right now agree. And if you do agree, click that like button. It's always going to be Furious Pete. You get that right, all right? And if not, I'm going to go over there and eat your face. Bath salts, buddy. Bath salts are in my system. I'm gonna eat your face if you start calling me something other than Furious Pete. You boys stay sexy. You stay hungry.